Hello, today I'm going to be talking about the map design and kind of level design of Team Fortress 2, the training Dustbowl level. So here we go, let's take a look at the map. This is the top-down view of the Dustbowl map that is available for the players to look at before they start the level, and this really helps give the player an idea of how they're supposed to be progressing through the level and kind of give them an idea of what the flow is. As you can see, you start on the top first section and work your way down to the middle one, following the arrows that are on the screen. And it's a pretty good sized map. I think that it looks kind of small when you're looking at it from this top down view, but when you're actually playing the game, it definitely seems a lot bigger, especially when you have enemies that you have to either defend against or fight, because I feel like it's very easy to overwhelm the player if it is a very big area and there are a lot of enemies, but kind of keeping it smaller with a lot of enemies makes it feel like it is a good size, not too big, not too small. There are certain landmarks in this level that I probably will discuss more like during the actual playthrough of the game, but they definitely help you understand, I guess, which part of the map you're in. So like by the time you get to the last section, you'll see that tower in the level, and if you didn't know where you were, what section you were in, that would be a pretty good signifier of where you are. This map is pretty symmetrical, I would say. It isn't a perfect square or circle, but it does kind of give you the outline of one. It definitely, especially the top, the right sections, they look pretty similar to each other. So I really do think that this gives it kind of a contained feeling, but one that seems a little more natural. Yeah, and I think that the flow of this map is very well designed because it gives the players a chance to get their bearings and navigate, and that can be very helpful, especially with how much chaos will be on the screen when it comes time to actually start shooting people.
3, 2, 1.
So this is the beginning of the Dust Bowl map. You start underground, which is kind of fitting because you are in a Dust Bowl. That's kind of the vibe they're trying to give off. It's all like dirty, like old-fashioned, kind of like in the middle of the desert themed. Right there you have some pickups right away, so if you get injured or you need more ammo, will help you. That will help you a lot, and it also like gives the player an idea of like where to find them. So if they get injured or later in the level, these are places that they can come back to. Right now I actually have all the enemies pretty much turned off just for the sake of it being easier to talk about this. In this level, this one is specifically about control points, which is this red circle I just stepped on. Basically, the team has to, blue team has to stand on these to take control of them from the red team, and they'll attack and fight. And you can only, you have to unlock them like sequentially. So the first one needs to be unlocked and then you get the second. This is a very open world area. It's a kind of a small map because, as I said before, it's split into 3 sections, but this is like the first one. It's kind of small and contained, easy to do since there are no enemies, but all around it really seems big because of how much a player can move around, where they can jump. There are different places where they can position themselves so that they can, fight enemies how they want to. Like if you're more of one of the support players, you can just run around, but if you're not, you can position yourself to like snipe or something. To the second stage, it's basically the same aesthetic. You're just like contained in an area by these gates. There's a rocket that will come up later. I think I called it a tower when I was discussing the map, but it's actually a rocket, and that we'll see that again when we get to the last stage. But there are a bunch of different little alcoves here. You see that people can hide themselves in, or enemies can place themselves in, because they do have a setup period of time to like put themselves in position. So all these open windows are great for trying to attack. and there's just a bunch of places for the other players to run to. There are also a bunch of signs everywhere that will point you into directions. Here's more pickups, but there are things like control point, things like no trespassing, but the control point will definitely, it is supposed to lead you to finding your way to, obviously the control point, which is the main purpose of how to win this game. And it's a nice touch because I feel like, especially me, I can get overwhelmed with these kind of games if there's a lot of action. So being directed in an area is very helpful for me. And then we have the Jank and Coal Company, which is a reoccurring aesthetic choice throughout the entire and throughout every single section, which really ties it together. Now this is the final section. Again, it's sticking with the theme of like kind of old-fashioned, rundown coal company. The logo is everywhere, just kind of rusty stuff like that. Overall, I really do think that this map is good because it is fairly simple and easy to move through, but it also is, there's a lot of different things, like if I were better at walking, I could have gone across that platform and I could explore down there, but I didn't really want to. But I think that it does a lot with the little, like the quote unquote little space it has, which gives it a really nice feel, but also is not overwhelming. And there's that rocket that we saw on the map. So that's a great place that's a good landmark for players. I guess if they get lost or want to, or if you're using a voice chat talking to people, I'm meeting here, stuff like that. The maps also really give off that kind of gritty, hard-working feel of the entire level. It really makes the player kind of feel like they are that character. Obviously not working in a coal mine, but like kind of just in a tough like battle or just a tough situation. And even with the playable characters, they're kind of like scruffy looking. So to me, that really just makes me feel like I'm a hardworking dude who's ready to go battle it out with other people in a abandoned coal factory, I guess. So I guess that's what they were going for, which is great because it does the job. And I feel like that's pretty much about it. Overall, really solid, and it's a good way to introduce someone to playing this game. So yeah, thank you for watching. And yeah, see you, bye.